Hi, I hope you're all doing well. I just real quick just wanted to bring you guys a small little deck profile for Adamancipator deck I built and topped locals with the other week. So this is my first deck profile, so apologize if there's any mistakes or anything, or if I don't explain anything enough. But yeah, 40 card main deck, 15 extra, 15 side of course, and I'll save the talking and I'll just get right into it. So for our Adamancipator tuners, start with 3 Analyzer. Special Summon effect actually never really came up. I didn't really draw it going second at all, but probably the best one. 3 Seeker, of course, and 3 Researcher. No reason to not play all of these if you're playing a main Adamancipator build. I see some of the OCG pile decks are just playing like 3 Researcher, 1 Analyzer, 1 Seeker, but they're not really true Adamancipator decks. But if you're playing a Adamancipator deck, gotta max out on these. Then for our non-tuner rocks, maxing out on the Dragites. This, I see some builds used to play 2, but I think now with a lot of the restrictions, playing 3 is optimal. You want to sift through your deck as much as possible, and stacking, searching, getting all the rocks out so you can draw your non-rock extenders and reborn spells is what you want to be doing. So yeah, maxing out on blue. Playing 3 Supplier with the 3 Guardian. Guardian is insane. I always try to keep that on my end board as much as possible. Supplier is alright. I mean, it's just 3 more copies of Guardian pretty much. And it's pretty much 3 more copies of Guardian and also 3 more copies of Analyzer, being a level 4 rock, or level 4 earth rock. So this is the main. It's also playing 3 Gate Blocker. This was crazy. This actually worked out a lot better than I thought it would. I wasn't thinking about maxing out on these, but I didn't really have any other cards to play, and I wanted to have as many non-tuner rocks as possible just so I never whiffed any of my Adamancipators. And luckily that I actually didn't whiff a single Adamancipator draw. And this card actually came up crazy in a I was playing against Plunder Runic, and this pretty much shut off all of their spells in hand, which put me in a really good position in that game. And probably the newest card from Power of the Elements, playing 3 of the Hidden Gem. It's a double summon for Earth and Water, and it's a reborn from the graveyard, just so you can increase your synchros. Yeah, this card's crazy. A really good play that you can make with this is if you can send this to the graveyard for your extra normal. Then you can synchro into either a Coral Dragon, or if you already have, you can synchro like into a Coral Dragon or something like that. Or if you already have Dragite in the field, you can just bring it out for free. But then you can just use the Coral Dragon right away with this into like a Dragite or another level 8. So you can get the draw pretty much right away. This card's really good. And then I am playing 2 Doki Doki. I think this is honestly one of the best cards in the deck. I might actually even put this to 3. I didn't play it at 3 today because it just doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't do enough, because it's crazy. It gets you to any card in the deck pretty much. It gets you to any card in the deck, but it needs setup. If your opponent has like responses, then it becomes a lot less good, of course. But yeah. And then we're just playing the 1 nib. This is all I have at the moment, so of course this would get bumped up to... I'm not sure if I would put it at 3, because you can't get it off of the main deck Adamancipators. You can only get it off of Doki Doki, funny enough. You can put that in a attack position and wrap tight. But I mean, if I took this to a bigger tournament, if I bring this to my regional in a couple weeks, I would obviously have to probably bump this up to 3 just to stand a chance, because this is a pretty rogue deck. But that does it for all the rocks in the main deck. Now for our non-rock extenders, these are the cards that really get you to your crazy inboards and just make going into your XZs and synchros a lot easier. One of the best cards in the deck. 3 Parallel Exceed. You'll notice that a lot through the main deck. I can just pull some out here. Let me do it this way rather. Doki, Cart, Gate Blocker, Dragite. These rocks, they all filter into Almirage, which can then just get you into Parallel Exceed. Just to get a free rank 4, or you can even just use these into Synchro Play. Put these here. And another card that actually filters into Almirage really well is I'm main decking 3 Red Resonator. This can summon pretty much anything. This can summon pretty much anything out of the hand. You can summon any of your Adamancipator tuners. You can summon your Doki Dokis. You can summon your Gate Blockers. Summon your pretty much anything. Only thing it doesn't summon is Parallel Exceed and Nibiru, I believe. I think that's the only cards in the deck it doesn't actually summon. And then another extender, I was actually playing 2 Hat Tricker. 3 Red Resonator, and then I was playing 2 Hat Tricker. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty much an Xyz and Synchro Spam deck. And even going second, you don't have to control the monsters. It's just 2 or more monsters on the field. So even going second, you can just use this as another extender. So if, say, they hand trap your... Excuse me. Say you start with like Adamancipator, Analyzer, or Seeker, or any of your names, and they get hand trapped or something, you can just special summon this out going second, assuming they have another monster on the board. Or even better, say you normal summon Red Resonator, bring out an Adamancipator tuner, your tuner gets Veilored, let's just say, then you can just bring out your Hat Tricker and just go into a 6 or... Yeah. I was playing this at 3, but I felt like at 3 it clogs up your mills a little bit. So I feel like 2 was the best number for it. But yeah. Let's move those out of the way. And then for the spells, we're only playing 5 spells, so 35 monsters and 5 spells. Like I said, I want the mills to be as good as possible. Playing 3 of the In-Archetype Reborn, along with 1 regular monster Reborn. I don't want to exaggerate, but this card, if you use it right, this card is pretty much just Engage if you can use it right. Like I said, I don't want to exaggerate too much, but Signs is pretty much just Engage if you can use it right. Like, if you pair it with Dragite, and you really need, like, another tuner, you can just bring back Dragite, put Seeker on the top, because that's the one you usually don't search and don't open. Because you're going to search Researcher through Gallon Granite most of the time, if you don't open it. And then just add it to your hand pretty much, because the draw effect of Dragite. And then Reborn just is, like I said, just another extender just to get a better end board. And one Called by the Grave for protecting your effects. Just put Researcher on top to look nice. Let's go into the extra deck. The extra deck is a little scuffed. It is definitely not as flushed out as it should be. There's a couple key cards I'm missing, which I will go over. But let me just run through. For our links, the Almirage and the Appaloosa. These are the only two link monsters I'm playing. Going in the future, I probably would play one or two more link monsters. I would probably play an IP Masquerena or just another generic link 2. Not only for Ibly boards to try and get rid of an Ibly, but also just as there are some situations where you, depending on how you open your lines, that you can't get to an Almirage right away. Or just something else happens that you can't extend. So I want to add another link to, maybe a Charmer, I'm not too sure. I'll just keep them out like this, I think. Moving on to the synchros. One Raptite for our 6s, we'll start with. One Raptite. I'll just move these here. How about that? Yeah, let's do it like this. Okay, move. Okay, so for our 6s, we have Raptite, Coral Dragon, and a Star Discharge for drawing. This to extend your plays, just go into bigger synchros. These for draw power, even Coral Dragon going second to pop a card comes up every now and then, but mostly just for draw power. Out of these to cut, to make room, I think the Star Discharge is probably the most cuttable out of these. If you don't want to play 3 6s, or if you just want to make room for something else. These cards are all crazy. DD Crow effect of Raptite doesn't come up too often anymore. It's really good because Parallax Seed is a wind, Star Discharge is a wind, and those can get in the grave pretty easy. But you're usually just using that to sink higher. For our 8s, we have Dragite, Scarlight, and Crystal Wing. Another really cool play that I forgot until now with the Hidden Gem, you can go into Coral Dragon, like I said, and then you can actually just go into Crystal Wing with it, because Synchro Non-Tuner and or not Coral Dragon. We have a lot of tuners, so you can always go. Yeah. Scarlight actually came up in a burn matchup. I actually outburned the player that was playing burn with this Scarlight. That was actually really funny. It actually helps just going in for extra damage as well. Like you can just make this and then go battle phase, just main phase 2, and then just main phase 2 the rest of the damage with Scarlight. Because pretty much your end board, every single card's going to be special summoned. So, and 3000 is the highest original attack stat of any monster in the deck. So everything's going to get popped. So it's at least, usually it's at least 1500 you're getting off. Let's see how I want to do this. I kind of want to make sure they're on screen. Sorry, I'm doing this upside down. And I was also just, this is probably going to get cut as well. I was playing a Final Sigma. Didn't end up making it a single time. These are all the synchros. There's probably one level 10 synchro that you're probably is screaming at me is missing. Yeah, I just don't have a Baron yet. Couldn't get one. Waiting for the reprint, to be honest. But as soon as I can get a Baron, that's auto-include. Probably going to take this spot of the Sigma or the Stardust Charge or one of these Xyzs that I'll show you in a second. And then for the Xyz, 1 Gallon Granite gets your Researcher out of the deck, or your Seeker, whichever one you need. I was playing an Abyss Dweller just because I didn't have any other options really for cards to play. So this is probably going to be the first card to get cut. It doesn't come up at all anymore since Tier got rest in peace. But yeah. And then a fun little package I'm playing. Since you're just spamming out level 4s and level 2s, another card that I decided to play was Ptolemaios with the Cyber Dragon package. Ptolemaios just used 3 level 4s, go into Nova, overlay into Infinity, which is an Omni Negate. Comes up. It's pretty good. I really like to try and end on this, just because it protects from... It's an Omni. It doesn't just lock you into a Dragite that just locks you into spells, or a Crystal Wing that just locks you into monster negates. I like having the diversity of an Omni, obviously. And last card is, of course, Zeus. Actually, I really didn't make this again that much. See what happens. Ends up happening is I'll go into Gallon Granite, and then with Gallon Granite, I'll go through all my plays. I'll probably start extending a lot. And then I actually have made a lot of times a 4 material Apo. You'll get a lot of your zones clogged up without even using the effects of your excavators. So what I like to do is just put the Gallon Granite, All Mirage, probably a Supplier, and like a Doki Doki that's stuck on the field. Put those into an Apo, and then if you have a Reborn, that's really good because then you can just use the effects that you haven't used, that you used for the material of the Apo. But yeah. So that's pretty much the deck. If you're wondering what I played at the round 1, I played against Sword Soul, 2-0'd. Round 2, I played against Burn. That was a 2-1. Round 3, played against a Plunder Runic deck. It was a very close game. I still can't believe how I lost that game. They used I believe it was the Liss effect that rips a card out of the hand and hit the best card in my hand. It was a Doki Doki when the rest of my cards in my hand were like a Red Resonator, a Call By, and like a Parallel Exceed or something. A couple cards that were just stuck in the hand, and the Doki Doki was literally the win con in that hand, and ripped it out with like, I think I had 5 cards in hand, just 20%ed it. Anyway, it happens. But for my side deck, ratios are a little weird, doing a little testing with some cards, but let's get through it real quick. 2 Gamma Seal, 2 Contact C. Usually there's a lot of branded at my locals, so that's why I wanted to try Contact C. But of course, the time I actually put this in and tried it, not a single person played branded. So yeah, I'll probably still keep this in. I just really like even before it became popular of recent, I really like this card. Just don't ever use it against Sword Soul. It's a free extender for him. And 1 Lancia. Kind of similar with the Nibiru is all I have right now. I'd probably bump it up at least to 2. Not sure if I'd main deck 3 because I really like diversity in my side deck. Yeah, that's it for the monsters in my side deck. And you also don't want to play too many in this deck since you're excavating so much. 2 one-of spells, Change of Heart, Harpy's Feather Duster. Not too much explaining there. Triple Dark Hole. Again, kind of preparing for Ibli. And just a really good board wipe. Not too much to say about Dark Hole. 2 Dark Ruler. I like it at 2. I don't know. And then 3 Royal Decree. I put this in for the Labyrinth matchup. Ended up not playing any Labyrinth, but I did play a Burn player, which, like a Secret Barrel Just Desserts Burn player, and this just hosed them. I actually opened 2 of them in my opening hand against him after siding. But yeah, that wraps us side deck and main deck and extra deck. Like I said, 40 cards. Yeah, I'm actually really happy with it. And I'm probably going to be making the changes that I said. And I might run it back again once I can get some upgrades for the deck. So I hope you enjoyed. Adamancipator is one of my pet decks. It's really fun to play. I really regret not taking it to a regional a couple years ago when it was at... we could still play the Prank Kid engine. That just was so fun to play. Making a Borreload Savage, all that. Can't do that anymore. But, yep. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.